This call is being recorded.
Hi, Andreas. How are you?
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. So did you get
Very
a
good.
chance to fill out the document?
My apologies for this morning. And
No worries.
fill out the document. Which document are you talking about? I'm looking at the job listings document right now. Let me look see which other ones. Can you resend it?
Yeah, sure, but you know what? We can just cover it during the call. I'll resend it to you,
That's
but you
fine.
don't really have to fill it out.
That's fine. We'll do it on the
All
call.
right.
I
I'll
just want to have the
just
right piece of paper. It's just been a busy day and I haven't been able to find it.
no
Or I haven't
worries.
looked that hard either, to be honest.
I'll just forward the email. Yeah, done. All right. So we'll just talk about your experience then. All right.
Okay. Did you
All
send that
right.
over?
I'm sorry?
Did you send that
Yeah, I
that
forwarded it.
document?
Let me
Okay.
know when you get it.
It might be in the update section. No. Is it the appointment reminder email?
No,
Uh,
it's the
no.
call prep
Yeah.
email.
I don't know.
My initial email to you on Monday. I just forwarded that to
Okay.
you again. Did
Yeah,
you not get it?
I just got it. Call prep.
All right, perfect.
Okay. Okay, that's what I was looking at actually. But I didn't really understand what you meant by fill it out, and I am kind of just glancing over it now, and it seems like how do I put this? Seems like these are
What
just
I meant by, I'm sorry?
go ahead.
Yeah, what I was saying
Go ahead.
was that I filled the questions in the document. I thought you were going to answer those, but we have the. I can go with the question. I'm sorry?
Oh,
Hello?
on the bottom. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Now I am seeing your questions, and I did not answer those, and forgive me that I
That,
didn't go so far down.
that's all right. That's perfectly fine. We don't really
Yeah,
expect you to answer the questions anyway because that's what the call is for, you know. So if it's all
got
right with
you.
you, we can just go over them right now. Is that okay?
Got you. I just want this to be focused. These old job descriptions, we gotta fill this all out. But I'm looking at the top for the job listings. I just want to re reinstate that I'm not looking for these type of jobs. Everything under the job listing posts that you put up there, is these are services that I can provide to a company and also accommodate doing these, but it's more of in a consultation, training, teaching perspective, getting people started off on the right foot. New companies, existing companies that need process improvement. So if you're looking at that job listings, let's go down to 2 and then go down a couple. Develop and maintain, oversee. Where it says oversee, it's like 4 or 5 bullet points down. Oversee and assist with the setup and production of the extraction lab. That's kind of like the top of the pyramid. That's what I do, and everything else falls below that. Now, that's really important to understand, or else we're not going to be on the same page at all.
All right. I got it. So basically, you
So,
initiate things, right? You help with the
then,
basic setup
mhm,
of the lab.
mhm. So I'm
All
in.
right.
So we got 2 other resumes.
Yeah.
Now, one of those is going to be a very in-depth, full-length one with, a lot of this. And then the second one is going to be specifically for consulting. Any way we look at it, though, this resume and all this paperwork has to be geared towards attracting and getting new clientele, not in a job day to day 9 to 5, but to continually get more clients, more clients. This is still a resume, but it's not a these are many jobs, and the more that come, the better. And the more specific they can be or fine tuned, where I can drive value, the better. But we got to be on the same page. You got to understand what a consultant does, and otherwise, this is not going to be worth the cost if it can't help um, in that standpoint. And it has to go hand in hand with a website that's being developed right now and other marketing. Um, you know, it has to facilitate the marketing of this new LLC, a business.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So I get what you're saying, but for the in-depth resume, I'm still going to have to ask you about things in detail. Is that
Really
okay?
good. Let's go for it. But I just need to have you understand that this is not, in no way, shape, or form, do I want a basic resume service. And that was talked about from the beginning. This is more of a marketing tool to help
Yeah.
with clients, but this is also a resume, so it has to display previous history. I also am on an application for, let's say, in another state for a state application, and I need to have all this information very precise and well defined of the past history, the past jobs. So that is very important. I will do my best to answer any of your questions in reference to all the past work.
All right. Perfect. So we can get started then, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So I'm just going to go back from your most recent job again, and then we'll go back in like a reverse chronological order. Okay. So
Okay.
for your most recent job, can you just briefly outline your key responsibilities there?
Yeah. Are you looking at which resume are you looking
Your
at?
most recent one. So the manager at the DLK Tech Solutions.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. Ask me about that. What can I answer?
Yeah. So what exactly were you doing here?
I was a consultant to an equipment purchase company, and I'm going to be switching roles. That's definitely not going to be the first one on there, and I may take that off entirely and replace it with the consultations that I've been doing in the same time period. But that was one of the primary ones that I was working on because I had ownership in that company. But there's certain residency requirements in Montana that I'm not meeting to fulfill those ownership, to fulfill ownership. So that is going to be dramatically changed. However, what I was doing for that company was got it set up and purchase and consulted on the equipment purchase.
All right. So and then you developed a new process here, right? Can you tell me a little bit about this? What process did you develop?
No, there's nothing like that. So what I should probably do, and I'm not even sure this is the right thing to do because I need to respect my clients' privacy, and they may not want to know that I consulted for them. But I need something to cover the time period from when I stopped working from Vitality Natural Health until now. What I have been doing the whole time is consultation services under my own LLC.
Okay. So you don't
And
really
I'm
have to name
also,
your clients or anything. You can just tell me generally what you did for them.
okay. Everything that's on the job listings, in some way, shape, or form, I've proficiated for one company or another.
All right. So right.
Let
So
me just
when we
put
make
that on
resumes, we
the website.
basically focus kind of on what you were able to achieve, right? So your accomplishments. So can we talk a little bit about the quality of products that you were making, or whether you were increasing the efficiency of a process or something like that?
Yes, that's very important. Um, but it's going to be very complicated. So would you be okay with me making a note here and going picking out particular things that I've done in these consultations for different segments or different companies?
No, that's perfectly all right. Will you note it down or do you want me to send you a reminder?
I would love the reminder, and I'm doing it myself too. But I
All
need
right,
to,
perfect.
yes, I need to. In your wording, that would actually be better. How you would like me to answer that specifically. So there's been
Definitely.
4 or 5 different consultations. Now, what I should probably do is outline what I generally do best for these companies,
Yeah.
or do you
Hmm.
want me to make a specific tidbit about each and every consultation or
Um,
generalization?
Actually, specific would work best, and if it needs to be generalized, then I can do that.
Okay, very good. Okay, so describe specific consultations.
Yeah. And any
Okay.
problems that you solved, any challenges that the clients were having that you were able to come in and solve, maybe focus on
Yeah,
that. Okay?
that's awesome. And I'm sorry I can't do that off the top because it's very complicated.
No worries.
Okay.
All right. So,
Um,
right.
go
So,
ahead.
do you want? Yeah. Sorry.
No, no, you go ahead.
All right.
Whatever. So I'm going to describe specific problems and challenges that were worked on and fixed during these consultations. And that's after Vitality Natural Health. I'm going to write that out and send those back to you via email or whatever message you would like. Now, if you want to take the conversation back in time to what I was doing for the companies on the resume.
Yeah, that would be all right.
Okay.
So, for Vitality Natural Health, also, you don't want to talk right now?
Yeah, we can. Yes.
All right, perfect. So, you were providing tech support and consultation to this CBD production startup, right? Can you tell me how
Yes.
things were before you were brought on?
Oh, they were very, very bad.
Mm-hmm.
Now that it's kind of they were bad. It was a
Good.
dangerous situation. There
Mm-hmm.
were a lot of uneducated, new to the industry people doing things without guidance or oversight, and there are a lot of really bad accidents that happened
Mm-hmm.
along the way prior. And while I was there, it was kind of a basic started just putting out fires from the start, and kind of continued the whole way till we got some kind of process refinement going on and an understanding of the processes at hand, to the point where they were able to start producing products without without so much difficulty and danger associated with. And the process refinements led to efficiency increases
Mm-hmm.
and loss reductions. However, the company went about things in a willy-nilly way, and I do have all the paper. Well, I shouldn't say the company still retains all the paperwork, I believe. However, it was never as a professional company, and it was more quick buck type thing,
Mm-hmm.
corporation. Now this is just wasting our time on the call. But a lot of these new CBD companies just got a lot of investment money and went for it, not really knowing what they were doing and how to do it. But
Mm-hmm.
it was through trial and error and spending a lot of money. These things eventually get repaired to a
Mhm.
certain degree. That could still use refinement in the future, however. But so when I first came to the company, it was like a barn that they were doing extractions on material on hemp, farm bill hemp. It wasn't farm
Mhm.
bill then, but which means legal in one way or another. Um,
Mhm.
uh, and they were doing it in the most dangerous and inefficient manners possible. So I came in on a consultory role, and that lasted for a certain amount of time prior to being an actual employee of the company, because they kept the consultation, the original payment as an hourly wage, which was fairly appreciated. So I decided to stay up there for a little
Mhm.
bit and continue working with the company and refining processes and getting them to a stable standpoint.
Mhm.
Now the company is moving forward. It's a big company, a lot of investment, and I played a particularly important role in the development of their processes, as
All
well
right.
as other large companies in the consultations that I'll divulge in when I send you the email. But getting back to Vitality, that's what I did, and I can kind of refine those statements in some way, shape, or form. But that's
All right.
yeah. If I don't know how you would refine, so this is not my profession, and I don't go through resumes, and I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know if mine is good or bad. I just don't think it's very good. It's certainly not attractive, but
Mhm.
it just is. It's a history. What I if you can make that look better in any way, shape, or form, that would be awesome. But I felt that that was one of the more developed excerpts. But I'm totally willing to have that changed in any way, shape, or form, and have it show where I drove value for the company.
Mhm. All right. So a couple of questions for what you did here. You said that you were able to increase the efficiency. Could you quantify that?
Yes, but it's so complicated, Miss. It's not like there's 5 stacks of papers here and I made 6 stacks of papers. This is really in depth.
Uh-huh.
It's stuff you
So,
would not understand. So I don't know how. Let me. Is there a way? Okay, it increased efficiency as it inputs and outputs. So the processes were refined to certain levels, and I can kind of guesstimate those. There was no type of paperwork or recording, any type of, let's say, best practices being served, anything even close to CGMP type of manufacturing going on. It was willy nilly as you can
mhm.
possibly get it. So it was kind of actually shocking coming from a professional world in Colorado and coming to what was pretty much a bunch of people working in a barn. And it got expanded from there and has always been slated as $1 billion company, but it started pretty rough. But
Perfect.
the efficiencies that were um, refined, I can kind of outline the processes that got refinement, but it's pretty much all of them. And anybody that's in the
Mhm.
industry would kind of get my drift if we can kind of just a complete overall rehaul of the existing operation.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about the amounts that you were producing, right? So I'm assuming that when you improved the processes, you were able to increase the amount of product as well?
Yeah, they weren't even able to make viable product prior.
All right. And
They were
afterwards, it
not
was
able, they were not able to produce any viable product.
all
So
right. And you changed that. Okay.
yeah,
So,
and that's a little fact. and should be emphasized in some way or another. They were purporting that they were making viable product at the time,
Mm-hmm.
however, they were not, and kind of got me in the middle of a situation where they needed to start producing viable product because they had began selling product before they had any.
Mm-hmm.
If you can
And
understand that would kind of give you um, an idea of where this is all at.
yeah, were
So
there any?
they were selling
I'm
they were
sorry.
selling products that did not exist. They
Mm-hmm.
really needed to start making this product. I had to
Yeah.
come in and make this product. Okay, that one was a bit.
All right. So, were there any federal regulations that you were ensuring compliance with as a result?
They were not complying with anything, nor in the state were there too many requirements to do so, to be honest. So it's
Mm-hmm.
more a government and state thing. However, the company, I helped them get on a standpoint where they would be compliant and started using best practices, personal protective equipment, um, general manufacturing processes that would be acceptable. Prior to that, it was not. It was totally unregulated and no oversight,
Mm-hmm.
without oversight, completely.
All right. So,
I knew this was gonna get like this. The other companies are a lot more developed. I'm sorry, the CBD industry is something else.
yeah, no worries. That's good because you got a chance to do a lot of things here. So, that's nice. Um, let's see.
It was educational, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, did you also develop maybe? I know that you set the product in place and everything. Sorry, the process in place and everything. But did you also develop some documentation or SOPs around that?
Yes. Okay. So if you are writing a reminder email for me,
Mm-hmm.
um, put in there to describe the processes and the product that I did end up making for Vitality. They started with from raw materials they had to get to a viable product, and I'll describe those products and where I can add to the efficiencies. Your questions earlier, I certainly I certainly will. Now, on the
All right.
paperwork side of things, they had zero existing paperwork. So I brought that whole system, and that should probably be mentioned and documented in a certain way, shape, or form. If I can propitiate proof of that in any way, shape, manner to you, let me know and I'll dig up what I can and describe it in the most accurate way possible. I feel that that is very important. They had no paperwork, no standard operating procedures prior,
All right. And you
no
developed all of those?
no batch record, no product
Mm-hmm.
track. So this is very important in the industry where you can have recalls or where product can be affected and can affect more product if it's not quarantined or quantified properly.
Mm-hmm.
That is what was going on. So we were able to come with my guidance to a batch record system and a tracking system. I feel that was the most value added. Um, it wasn't seen that way. It was seen as superfluous paperwork because
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people are
wasn't dealing
resistant to
with
paperwork.
professional people at
Mm.
the time. However, now the company knows, and um, it was acquired by a larger Canadian company, and they brought some stability to the situation.
All right. Okay, so you also mentioned that when you first came on, there were some uneducated technicians working here. Were you able to improve their understanding of the process in some way? Did you train them?
Yes,
Okay.
100%. None of them knew a hemp seed from a rock in the ground, or it was just there was no familiarity,
Mm-hmm.
no understanding, no prior use. This is
Mm-hmm.
literally in on the border of Canada and Montana,
Mm-hmm.
and it was an interesting thing, um, a very interesting thing. You would think that America has a fairly stable level of education throughout. That is not the case.
Mm-hmm. All right. So,
So there are people taking in no prior